What is going on, everyone? So it's been a very long time since I talked anything Harry Potter related, but I did recently just rewatch all 8 original Harry Potter films plus the 2 Fantastic Beasts movies, and in this video I am going to be doing another ranking of the Harry Potter films. I believe the last time I did this was back in 2016, and I thought, why not? We're in the midst of the coronavirus, and I want to talk Harry Potter again because I love this series so much. In my opinion, Harry Potter might just be the best movie franchise ever put together. Out of the 8 original films, there's not a bad movie. All of them are pretty darn good at the very least. And of course, I could never pass up an opportunity to talk about Harry Potter, but this coronavirus thing really sucks right now. I mean, it's screwing everything up. I can't even get a haircut at the moment because all the haircutteries are closed. So, I'm just trying my best to work through it, but I can't complain too much. I was able to binge watch all the Harry Potter films, the Fast and Furious movies. Gonna keep doing that for as long as I'm indoors while this thing goes on. But yes, this is my ranking for all 8 Harry Potter films plus the 2 Fantastic Beasts movies. So let's begin, of course, with number 10.
Number 10.
Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. The moment I saw this movie in theaters, I left and said, I don't even know what I just watched. The plot is so convoluted. It's very confusing, extremely difficult to follow. It doesn't even have the same likability levels for our main characters like it did in the first Fantastic Beasts movie. This was just a complete mess, and I don't quite understand the ending to this day. Other people like this movie. A lot of people did not like this movie. Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald could have been a lot better.
Number 9.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. An improvement over the one that came out after this, but still, it's not nearly as good as any of the 8 Harry Potter films, in my opinion. Yes, it has some really great characters here. Eddie Redmayne is awesome in the film. I think he is perfect casting for this film, but I just never got a sense that the film's plot was strong. It mostly follows Eddie Redmayne's character trying to track down his beasts that have escaped. They're running around the city, and that's pretty much the basic premise of this movie. Outside of that, there are some things going on with dark magic, and Grindelwald is doing some things behind the scenes, but they never do more with those things in this movie. And therefore, I get kind of bored when watching Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them because I never really enjoyed the main plot of this film.
Number 8.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is my least favorite of the 8 original Harry Potter movies, but it's still a very good film. This is the one that kickstarted it all, and it had that impossible task of introducing all of us to the wizarding world, and it succeeded. This movie did a great job in building the world of wizardry and introducing us to the main characters, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. This is the film in the Harry Potter franchise that is solely there to explain everything in the wizarding world to the audience because a lot of this stuff is new and confusing to all of us, and they did a really good job in this, but the movie isn't really that great in terms of plot because a lot of this movie spends its time on explaining all of this to us, and that's not a bad thing. That's what a first film in a big franchise is meant to be there for. Also, the CGI doesn't hold up all the time nowadays in 2020, but I still really enjoy watching this movie, and the finale, while it could have been better, was a solid ending to the first Harry Potter movie.
Number 7.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is a sequel that improves upon its predecessor, and that's because it has a lot of memorable moments, such as Harry and Ron taking the Polyjuice potion and infiltrating Slytherin, along with Harry and Ron going into the Forbidden Forest and meeting with Aragog, and the finale in this movie where Harry takes on the Basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets, and we get that awesome reveal of who Tom Riddle is. I love everything that has to do with those scenes, plus a ton of other stuff. This movie is absolutely better than the first film, in my opinion. You also can't forget about Gilderoy Lockhart, played wonderfully by Kenneth Branagh. I love the character, but other people think he is kind of annoying, and obviously he's a fraud at the end of the day, but I still love the guy and his portrayal, Kenneth Branagh, of the character. The only reason why this movie is not higher up on the list is because it feels very similar in terms of structure to the first movie, and therefore it's never able to go above and beyond with its plot and characters, but it's still a great time.
Number 6.
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is the 6th Harry Potter movie, and it's right here at number 6 for me on my ranking of the Harry Potter movies. I've always looked at the Half-Blood Prince as the most uneventful Harry Potter movie of the original 8, and a lot of people will agree with me on that. Not too much happens in the Half-Blood Prince. This movie is mostly just a character movie. We get so much depth added to all of our characters that I just can't help but to adore this movie. There's a lot of romance tension in the film. Ron is seeing one girl while Hermione still has a crush on Ron and is getting jealous. Harry, he is falling in love with Ginny, but she's seen somebody else. There's a lot of relatable stuff that's happening in the Half-Blood Prince, and it's all very well done in the movie. But still, it's not a plot-driven movie. It's more so a character film to give us more added depth for those characters until we get our final send-off with them in parts 1 and 2. And it's one of those movies that I look at and say, it's the calm before the storm, and you kind of need that considering what we get in the last 2 films coming after this. Oh, and don't talk to me about Dumbledore's death. Watching that the other night once again, it hit me pretty hard, and I was trying to hold back my tears. It really is sad, but super well done.
Number 5.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This was the film that I was always a little bit harder on, and I think that's because I didn't like the movie when I saw it in theaters for the first time. Though I was only about 9 years old, I believe, when I saw it in theaters, and I was still a little bit scared, so that always stuck in my head and never left me. So I don't know if that really had to do with why I didn't like this movie as much. It used to be my least favorite of the 8 original Harry Potters. But now, after rewatching it again, I do believe this is one of the better Harry Potter movies to date. Order of the Phoenix is a slick, fast-paced film that never seems to have a dull moment. This film also tends to go a lot into the politics side of wizardry with the Ministry of Magic. They're trying to take over Hogwarts, and being older now, I really appreciate this movie so much more than I did, because when I was younger, I didn't understand politics or anything having to do with politics, but now watching this movie, I get it all, and I appreciate it so much more now. We get taken through the ringer with Dolores Umbridge in this movie. Yes, she's very annoying, but it pays off in the end. Such a satisfying ending to her character in this movie. I also love the themes of this film and the finale. Harry puts together Dumbledore's army. He's trying to gather a bunch of students to take on Lord Voldemort and his army, the Death Eaters. I really love that part of the film and the themes we have there with Harry becoming a leader. Plus the finale gives us our first look at Wizard War. It's exhilarating and fun, though we get that ending blow with Sirius Black being killed by none other than Bellatrix Lestrange. I freaking hate that lady because of that moment, but I don't ever feel as much emotion as I should when Sirius Black is killed. There wasn't enough there for me to care, and I wish they did more to build up his character before his death. I do love Voldemort versus Dumbledore and the internal conflict inside Harry's head when he's trying to fend off Voldemort. All that stuff is really awesome, though I do wonder why this movie and book weren't called Dumbledore's Army instead of the Order of the Phoenix. That's just something I always thought about.
Number 4.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. This is my 4th favorite Harry Potter movie out of the original 8, but many consider this to be the worst out of the 8, and I don't get it. Yes, I understand that the movie does end on a cliffhanger. We don't get the feeling of a complete movie, but still, there is so much tension felt throughout the entirety of this movie. There are endless things at stake for our main three protagonists in the Deathly Hallows Part 1. They have to get the Horcruxes in order to kill Voldemort in Part 2. And there's a lot that happens in this movie. This is another Harry Potter movie that I consider to be one of the more fast-paced movies, and there's never any dull moments. I also love how this is the first Harry Potter film away from Hogwarts. It's very refreshing, but the reason why this is not higher on the list for me is because there's a lot of flashbacks and visions that we see within Harry's head that caused the story to get a bit convoluted, and I don't think you needed those flashbacks in the movie. I think the director should have just trusted the audience to understand what's going on, and we don't ever feel that sense of trust there. So instead of giving us less of those scenes, we get a lot more, and the movie is never able to overcome those flaws within it. But I still really enjoy this movie. It's extremely fast-paced, and I love it so much.
Number 3.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Potter fans will tell you most of the time that this is the best Harry Potter movie, and for me, it's at number 3. I think this is a really great Harry Potter film, absolutely worthy of being at the number 3 spot. It's possibly home to the best Harry Potter finale besides Deathly Hallows Part 2, and that's saying a lot. The ending of this movie, I think, is absolutely wonderful. The time travel sequence, it feels so in the moment. I love seeing that take place. I also love the reveal of Sirius Black, who we all think is the villain for most of this movie, but it's not. It's Peter Pettigrew and his companions who work under Lord Voldemort, and he was the one that actually betrayed Harry's parents. So the film's twist and finale are both pulled off extensively well, plus it's only 2 hours and 10 minutes, so it's quick and to the point. Plus, it's the only movie out of the 8 original Harry Potter movies that does not feature Lord Voldemort as the main villain, unless you want to count Half-Blood Prince as well, but I mainly just consider this to be the only movie without Lord Voldemort as the main villain, and instead it's supposed to be Sirius Black, but it's actually Peter Pettigrew and the Dementors. I would love to put this movie higher up on my list though, but I can't do that because I only consider this movie as great as it is because of how good the finale turns out to be for you. The first hour of this movie though, it does take a little bit of time to get through, and once you get to the finale, oh boy does it pay off.
Number 2.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is my second favorite Harry Potter movie. What do I have to say about this movie that other people have not said already about Deathly Hallows Part 2? It's so perfect in almost every single way. I love how this movie concludes the Harry Potter series. It could not have been done any better than the way this movie did it. And they did it. This movie succeeds in almost every single category. It is that satisfying end to the Harry Potter franchise. We have been waiting to see this moment for so long, and this movie shows us everything that we needed to see. And I could not help but to shed some tears the other night when watching this movie again, and I don't know how many times I've watched it, but every single time I watch it, I shed those tears. Deathly Hallows Part 2 is about as fast-paced as you can get for a Harry Potter movie. It pulls all those final punches that are necessary. When searching for flaws, I desperately find myself clawing for them, but can barely ever get anything. The only thing I could possibly say as to why I don't like this movie more than the film that I have ranked above it is that I don't feel we get the best conclusions to some characters. Those arcs just quite aren't there for characters like Hagrid or Malfoy. I wish they did more for those characters in the finale of this movie, and they could have added an extra 10, 20 minutes maybe to this movie, but the movie ends a little bit abruptly. It's less than 2 hours, which is disappointing, but it's still an epic conclusion to the Potter franchise, and this movie might just be the best all-around movie.
Number 1.
Finally, the moment you have all been waiting for. My favorite Harry Potter movie in the entire franchise is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now, I know plenty of you who have read all the Harry Potter books say that this is the worst Harry Potter movie, and that's understandable. I know that director Mike Newell left out a lot of things from the books, but keep in mind that this was the longest book. It's a very big book. I believe it's the longest out of the Harry Potter franchise. Quote me though if I'm wrong, take me down on that. I don't really care. But I don't really mind the fact that they kept out so much. And I'm somebody that has yet to read all the Harry Potter books. And I understand why people think this is the worst. That's completely understandable. But even if I were to read the Goblet of Fire book, I still don't think my opinion would change because I'm so used to how this movie plays out that I could never possibly imagine me enjoying the book more. And for myself, this is the Harry Potter film that I could rewatch again and again and never get bored. This is, in my opinion, the most rewatchable Harry Potter movie out of all of them, and there's many reasons for that. First of all, I think it's the most fast-paced and exhilarating of all the original 8. There's a lot of fun to be had with the Triwizard Tournament, plus it's relatable with the Yule Ball, and includes a truly gut-wrenching finale with Lord Voldemort's return. Every time I watch it, it's like, oh my god, they could not have done it better than they did with this film. Ralph Fiennes is amazing as Lord Voldemort. I think gives the best performance out of anybody in the entire saga. In general, this is the most eventful Harry Potter movie to date. I don't see it any other way, and I love Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It is my favorite out of the 10 Harry Potter movies we have. But of course, I want to hear all of your guys' lists of your favorite Harry Potter movies ranked. Definitely be sure to let me know down below in the comment section what your lists are. I love Harry Potter so much, and I really hope in the future we can get better prequel movies than the ones we've been given already with the Fantastic Beasts franchise. We'll see what happens, but I'm not expecting much more than we already have, because the last one, it just wasn't that great, but they can definitely do better, and we've had the same director for the last now 6 Harry Potter movies, so I expect a really good third Fantastic Beasts movie, but if it's not that great, then so be it, because the original 8 will never, in my opinion, be taken over as the best 8 Harry Potter films. As always, if you're new to my channel, click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.